Hey gang, a little late to the party on this one, but I had to drive halfway across the country with my puppy to see my niece getting graduated. So let's talk about the Asgard. Let's talk about a couple issues or thoughts I have on sales and things that CIG is doing this year. Just thought it might be nice to kind of do a combination, just kind of give a few thoughts. But first, let's talk about the Asgard. So let's get this. Okay, so first thing up, obviously I switched out all the guns for attritions. That is just kind of a carny fluff thing. Role playing, I do like the attritions as a gun, but they are not necessarily meta. If you want meta, probably light strikes would be the way to go, I would assume, just because they fire very fast and they've got good range for a laser cannon. The ship itself, obviously newest ship in the game, gonna be pretty nice, pretty good. You can sort of see that they've got the ailerons ready to flap there, so I think it's these back here. Yeah, so you can sort of see they've got the flap ready to go once they start putting in aerodynamics. Real quick, that's something that I want to talk about. This ship right now is barely maneuverable, so I would say I'm getting strong Prowler when it first dropped vibes, and some of you will know what I mean by that, but for a little while there, the Prowler was the meta heavy fighter for like half a patch until CIG realized, oh, whoops, we kind of screwed that up because it's very maneuverable and had big guns, so it made it a very nasty fighter. Same thing with the Ares. Same thing with this. They're almost certainly gonna nerf its maneuverability a bit. Just as a heads up, if you buy this thing because you've been seeing how well it flies, they're gonna dial that in. They always do. It's not something that they're doing to make sales. It's because they have to see how it's performing. I did take it out and do some bounty hunting. It did not kill the light fighters as fast as I thought it would. You basically, for the pilot's guns, is you've got 6 size 3s here. There, both the shoulders, and then you've got the missile launcher up top. This is probably as close as you're going to get to the aliens dropship, and I'll get there in a second. But I have heard if you pull these 2 bottom guns, you get a lot more power for these guns, and you can shoot a lot longer. But the maneuverability on this thing can't really keep up with light fighters, which is a good thing. It means when the nerf comes, it's not going to be a big one. Just if you're expecting this thing to be as maneuverable as it is right now, that's not going to stay. So the big advantage of the Asgard over the Valkyrie, a lot of the things are similar. It obviously doesn't have as many turrets. The Valkyrie has 2 remote guns on either wing. It's got a turret up top, a man turret up top, a man turret on the bottom, which this one does have. And it's got door guns. This one does have door guns. One thing they've changed is that you can't actually change this gun, or if you can, I haven't been able to find it. You could change it on the Valkyrie. It's a size 1. So on the Asgard you can't, on the Vanguard you can. I don't know if that's a short-term thing. Another issue that I've seen is that if you open the back ramp and you're in a hangar, let's see if it'll do it. Well, it's not doing it right now. Occasionally what it'll do is it'll start jumping around like crazy. At first I thought it was because it was interacting with the little lights that are on the ground, but it seems like it just kind of happens sometimes. So if you get out of your ship and you're noticing it's jumping around, yeah, put your ramp up, that'll stop. The hangar here, so I was saying that I thought that this thing had a lot more utility than the Valkyrie, because the Valkyrie, what you've got is the cargo bay, I think, ends right about here. Actually, it might have a little bit more cargo bay, but it's definitely not as tall. But you got, let's say 20 or 25 jump seats right in this room. And here you've only got the 2. You got an engineering terminal, which is nice. And then you've got your turret right up here. So that's the turret in the ground. But the ability to carry 25 people in the game right now is a lot less useful than being able to carry a vehicle. Like, you can carry a Nursa, you can even carry Tonks, Atlas chassis vehicles. That's the Spartan, the Centurion, and the Ballista. And probably another, well, we know there's another one in the wings. We just don't know specifically what it'll be. Probably a builder. But anyway, yeah, this is just a lot more utilitarian than the Valkyrie is, just a lot more useful, especially with all the firepower that the pilot can control. This thing's a little bit more of a ground clearer, very much like the dropship in Alien, which I was saying before. This is what I mean, though, is that you got your vehicle in here, you can carry some troops, but its purpose is to get the vehicle down. So most people would probably be in the vehicle, you blast and go. Much like the Valkyrie, I would say this is a land it outside the hot zone and drop people off rather than land in the hot zone and drop it off. Other than that, let's go ahead and get in the cockpit. Check that. Let's look at the living area. So you got the living area over here. Again, you've got the pilot and the gunner seat there, and then you've got your wash closet over here. Fill open, there it goes. You got your toilet set up, of course, so you can poop while showering. It's like a mega bidet. No mirror yet. I don't know how you're supposed to look in that mirror, but that is not really a big concern. Not spending a lot of time unless they implement the shaving loop. They might do what other games do, and you can actually customize your appearance with the mirror, in which case you might actually want to be able to see. Anyway, got a gun rack here. You can carry 4 rifles, 1 biggin, 6 pistols, or med tools, or multi-tools, whatever you want up there. Of course, I got a railgun in here. Suits, one day you'll be able to put suits up in here. This is a food processor. What's over here? Decoration. Okay. Components. I want to say the components are down there. I think they're along either wall. But let's see. So up here, cockpit. Wait for it. Has pretty good viz. So yeah, you can see up, which is huge. Good views to the side, even when the engines are down, which is big. You don't have guns blocking your view. So, I mean, yeah, all in all, just a very well-crafted ship. One thing that CIG did that was a little bit sneaky was this is, I think, $5 to $10 cheaper than the Valkyrie. So you can do the obvious thing and trade the Valkyrie for this. Instead, I traded my Connie Andromeda for this, just because I think this has slightly more use for what I typically do. It can carry the bigger ships, because currently the only thing that can carry Tonks is like the 890 jump. I don't think the Carrot can. I need to double check that. I know the Carrot can carry a Storm. Storm and Tonk, same width, so the ships that can carry them are similarly limited. 890 jump, obviously the Hercules lineup, so the C2, M2, A2 were basically designed to carry the Tonk. But yeah, this is just a little bit lighter package, less of a, if you got a smaller crew, this would be the way to go if you wanted to use one of those vehicles, or if you want to insert a couple. One of the issues I have with the Valkyrie is you put all your eggs in one basket. If you're putting 2 or 3 Tonks in a M2, it's a much, much bigger target, literally and figuratively. So that is the Asgard. Let me give a few thoughts about some things CIG has been doing this year. I mean, granted, it's early in the year. I think a lot of this is just because a lot of the bandwidth is being sucked up by Squadron 42. Let's go ahead and get this thing out into space. I'll talk a little bit more about this. Crank down the volume on the engines just a little bit there. But anyway, first thing I want to talk about is the way that they're doing the Thursday shows now, the sort of Inside Star Citizen. Instead of doing Inside Star Citizen, they seem to be doing sort of a ship-shaped thing. But where previously they would talk about the ship that they were making, and they'd be like, these are sort of our thoughts behind it. This is what this ship will enable us to do. This is what you'll be able to do with the loop. And I mean, they were definitely trying to sell you on the ship and all the cool new things it could do. But nowadays, it's just pure, obvious trailer for the ship. It's kind of, yeah, this ship is the best ship you could possibly buy with money. You should definitely spend money and buy this ship. It does everything. It's better than every other ship, and it's awesome, and you should definitely get it. And that's pretty much the show. And they're not like, this is our thoughts behind it, this is the design, we're talking to the concept artist, and this is kind of the things that inspired them. When we were originally subbing for the show, so when you sub, it's supposed to go into these shows where they tell you about game development. And as someone that tried to develop a game myself, it's really interesting to sort of see how a company the size of CIG, the size and complexity of CIG, is building out this game. And that's true for a lot of people. So when I subbed, it was so they'd keep making those shows. But unfortunately, now they're just sales documents. So hopefully they get away from that. They used to have hours long around the verse things, and they started cutting those back. And I'm pretty sure the reason was because you can either have your devs make the game, or they could be sucked up into a show for hours long. And what I think is going on again is Squadron 42. I think Squadron 42 is sucking up all the oxygen in the room. CIG is really feeling the pressure to get these things out. So the devs, as opposed to being on Inside Star Citizen for an hour or two and having to prep stuff for that and think about what they're going to say, I think Jared and probably CR are like, hey guys, no, it's too much right now. Let's get Squadron 42 out the door, and then we can reach back out to the community and do the stuff that we used to do. So I think that's what's going on with the Friday shows. It is a little bit annoying. Just, I like their trailers. Their trailers are super interesting. Like the in-game and lore ads that they do are pretty neat. Man, I need to get my friend who has a reclaimer out here, Yaz Queen, and have him munch up all these ships. Again, Asgard's everywhere. But yeah, so that's what's going on there. So Squadron 42, lot going on there. But this also brings up another point. So I mean, I get, and I can forgive the kind of thing with Squadron 42, devs not having the time, that kind of thing I get. One thing I don't get is why CIG is still relying on scarcity, because I mean, they're selling digital assets that exist in the game, and I almost broke my own rule there. Always shut your door, especially if you got a new ship with a vehicle in it. But anyway, my helmet off or something? My helmet is off. Just gonna do a little resorting here. Yeah, it's one of the things. My friend Knight has had an Idris for years, and one of the things I do when the Polaris dropped, I bought him a skin for the Polaris because I said, hey, this is the Carney skin, you need to have it. So I got it for him. And I was going to do the same thing with the Idris, but they locked off the Idris skins only to people who bought the Idris. So if I wanted to buy an Idris skin and I didn't own an Idris, I couldn't buy one of the skins, which is, I'm not sure why CIG is allergic to money, but that certainly seems like that's what's going on. Hang on. So the scarcity sales thing, they really need to stop. Like, just have everything that is available in game for sale. I mean, you can lock some things off, but right now, one of the problems is that with their whole F5 wars for the big ships, the only people actually getting those F5 ships, like the Idris, the Polaris, the Reclaimer, I actually don't know if the Reclaimer is, but you get the point. The big sexy ships are primarily resellers because they program out bots, and that's it. The bots get it. And there are some people who really luck out and win that F5 war, but the majority are resellers, and then they sell the things for a premium, and that just kind of poisons the well. Everybody gets sick of it. They can't get the ship they want. They kind of tune out of the sales because they know they're not going to get anything. Ooh, that guy has attritions. Damn. Well, if I go on his ship and unlock those, these things will see me as an enemy and start shooting me. Damn it. Anyway, need to keep an eye out for other dudes. But yeah, I just wish they would stop with the sales like that. I mean, you can have them available at certain times of the year, I guess. I don't get why you would do that, but you can. But to me, it just makes more sense. Just sell the thing, make it available the whole year. I get what CIG's doing. They're saying we're not going to mess with something that's working, which they're making money hand over fist on those things. So, I mean, I get why they would kind of want to leave things the same. But by the same token, if you're going to be innovative with your sales too. At this point, people are kind of getting burned out on the sales because they know they're not going to win those F5 wars against the bots, and not that many people really want to pay double or triple the amount that the resellers are going to do. So you're really limiting these sales, which honestly might be part of the point, now that I think about it, is that they don't want that many people to be messing with them. So, I mean, if you don't want 100 people running around Idrises, then... Did I kill a player? No, he's Nine Tails. Then you make the ship really expensive, really limited, and not that many people can buy it. And if resellers are the only ones having it in their hangar, then it does, in fact, limit the number of ships that are going to be out there in the verse. But anyway, that's just kind of my thoughts. Squadron 42 is probably chewing up a lot of dev time, which is why we're not getting as many shows. And I think that they should definitely limit the sales, the sort of one-time only sales, limited number sales. Just the time for those kinds of things have passed. And the Asgard is probably going to get a maneuverability nerf just because now they're seeing how it's operating in game. They're getting the kind of metrics that they couldn't get in testing. And gang, that is all I got for this one. Catch you next time.